Flashpoint Beyond, issue 4. Jeff Johns with Jeremy Adams and Tim Sheridan writing, with Zermanico and Mikel Yanin on the art. Do you know what? 5 names.
What is this book?
I'd say 5 goddamn names when I do the credits for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, Flashpoint Beyond. Well, I mean, clearly, you know, in the real world, like Batman's done this, and he's been warned that it's getting close to breaking point, and that this shouldn't be a thing. But you know, we go into the story, and Thawne's body is investigated by Thomas, and he finds a bunch of clock gears inside of him. So he's like, okay, I need to do something with that, and he brings it home. Dent's son has ran away from Penguin. He's went into the Batcave and stole a bunch of supplies and made himself effectively a kind of a
Robin.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just a red t-shirt and a green, you know, green trousers. But yeah, he's given himself a utility belt, and you know, he's kind of this Robin here.
The little sociopath has picked up on all the bad things, and now he's gonna go make chaos somewhere.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. When Thomas gets home, Penguin's like trying to like say sorry, and he's really concerned about where the kid might be, and Thomas could not give a shit.
No, you can tell this man lost his son early and never thought about kids again.
Oh dear.
You know? Yeah.
But we see the kid like sneaking into Arkham. He's on top of like the van that's going in, like an action star. Whilst Thomas is looking at these gears and shit and trying to figure. He sort of puts like enough of them back together, but then realizes eventually it's like for the grandfather clock in the house. Yeah. But at Arkham is the big thing though, is that the kid is going into Arkham because he wants to see his mum. He wants to see Gilda, and it's like, oh no, that's a bad sign. And it starts intercutting between the scenes. You know, there's a page where there's like the two scenes are playing out in 2 columns next to each other in panels. But yeah, eventually he sees his mum. And what's a really neat trick here is that you kind of like think that this other voice that's coming in occasionally is like her, you know, in the way that Two-Face would have like a gravelly voice when he's speaking out of Two-Face, you know, the other, the Burn side, if you will. And there's a reveal though that that's not the case, that there's someone else talking, and it's someone coming from the next cell through a hidden door, and it's just as Thomas is putting the pieces together, and he goes and puts this gear in the clock in the Wayne Manor, and it kind of all, you know, everything coalesces together. So which actually makes this probably the most focused and most concise issue, because everything is just kind of these two things coming together. But yeah, so Dexter meets who's there, and the way it kind of ramps up, it also sounds like this is also the Clockwork Killer to me. Yeah,
that's what I read too, and that's why when I said this is definitely a book, because this, like, there's a lot going on here that's kind of unclear still, despite being so focused.
Yeah, but anyway, Martha Joker comes walking out this secret door in the cell. That's your cliffhanger for the in-universe part of the book. There's a little bit after, of course, with the Batman and the time stuff. But
I do like that Gilda does say, you know, to get behind her. So the fact, like, yeah, she has the Two-Face thing going on, but you know, she's not. Yeah, she's at Arkham, but she, you know, it doesn't feel like she's villainous. You know?
And of course, the reason why he suspects that he knows who the killer is, Thomas, is because this was a wedding gift, this clock, so this gear, like, you know, it must be it must be Martha who is the killer, and because that's where the gear came from.
So the gear came from, the clock's been broken forever.
Yeah.
As far back as he can remember. So, but yeah, and I like what Zermanico does with the art here is in the backgrounds. You get a lot of clock stuff, but as soon as Dexter gets his mom out, all of the panels start to get like tilty.
Yeah. And
disjointed, and it really adds to this sense of everything is chaos. And then you get to that layout where they're all like that, and it's the 2-page, the double spread with the clock behind it, counting down to midnight, which is another, you know, we got talk about blue energy and all this other stuff. So it's another tie-in to Doomsday Clock, which I think is nice.
Yeah, because we come back into the real Earth, if you will. The snow globe that they're presumably in is starting to crack. And it's temporal energy. The kid calls it blue shift power. Says it's the most powerful force in the Omniverse. So this is really serious business. So yeah, it seems to be like it's all exploding right at the end, and yep. So yeah, it says you don't know everything about everything this time. You don't know the truth about your mum. That's the final line at the end. So yeah, I wonder if this means Bruce is going to get to see Martha Joker and like.
Yep.
Because
that's what he means, right? Because he never knew Martha was the Joker. He just knew his dad was Dr. Batman.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, him having to go there because he says this blue shift power is when space meets time. So basically, when the Omniverse, which was introduced in what is that a Snyder thing or is that a John's thing from Doomsday Clock? Because it was the metaverse, right?
Metaverse was Doomsday Clock, yeah.
So Omniverse must be the other one, but so the Omniverse runs in with hypertime, and so these are these two, very DC ideas, and it creates this blue Manhattan-esque energy. And yeah, so I would guess that he gets pulled into there. That's all I can think.
Yeah, I mean, I do wonder if the lesson for Batman in this is that he's kind of trying to save his father because he's met this version of his father and thinks he's worth saving, but he doesn't realize that the wife, the Martha in this scenario, is this really effed up. It's like this is a Martha that should never have existed. Right. That really, basically, and maybe learning that and realizing that's maybe ultimately what the story's going to be.
It's been forever since I read the Azzarello, the Flashpoint Batman book. But I thought he killed her at the end.
It did seem like she died at the end, so this is definitely a reveal that she's still alive here at the end.
That she's still alive, and it could be from all these time fluctuations and Flashpoint not supposing to exist.
Don't get me wrong, I did roll my eyes a little bit that it's just their Joker who's the Clockwork Killer, because I mean it's a bit of an easy, obvious thing to do.
Yeah, I think there's more to it. I think it might not just be her. That might be more to it. Like she's working in conjunction with who's ever the Clockwork Killer. Because for her to kill Thawne, right? That's pretty big. Like she's kind of just a crazy person with a knife that kills people.
Yeah.
For her to kill a speedster that's a pretty big feat. So there might be. I mean, with the Time Masters being lost and this little guy with the hat, there's so much more I think going on behind the scenes, and we'll get to it. But yeah, no, this is definitely this book keeps getting crazy. So, but that page, Zerbanico's art with the reveal of the Martha Joker.
If anything,
pretty damn good.
This might be the best straight up issue of this book, and in a way that's almost disappointing because it wasn't funny, unintentionally at any point.
Yeah. True.
So, what I was starting to enjoy about this book, for all its faults, is what this issue didn't have. But it didn't have it because it was actually a better issue, which it's a weird, conflicting feeling to have. But that's kind of what I was getting from it. Anyway, what are you giving Flashpoint Beyond?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5, and a lot of that's on the strength of the art. So.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7. I think I enjoyed it well enough, and I'm intrigued by what craziness might come in the last issue. But I did roll my eyes a little bit at Martha Joker, even though I really loved that in the original story. But she was supposed to be dead, so it's a little bit like comic books. Anyone can come back, whatever, And maybe there's a good reason. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I'll give it a 7.